Witchdoctor here with the tip of the day for you Victory owners. I bet you didn't know that cross bikes have an adjustable floorboard that can move your shift pedal or your brake pedal forward and back for depending on how long your legs are. So if you're a long-legged person and you need to have the board pushed forward, we're going to show you how to do that. The same as if you're short-legged and need to move the board backwards. We'll show you how to do that. It's really easy. Come on over and watch. Alright, so if you look under the floorboard, you have these three holes right here. The rear one, the middle one, and the front one. Victory always puts the bolt hole in the middle hole. Okay, so this is your adjustments right here. The Victory's always put it in the middle hole. So it's real easy to do. It takes a 5mm Allen wrench or socket. So you're just going to unloosen that bolt. And you do have to take this bolt all the way out. You can't just loosen it up. So take that bolt out, and now you'll see your pedal will move forward and backwards. Okay? So if you're shorter and you want this brought back to you, you just pull it back. If you want it towards the front, you just pull it forward. Okay? Now, what you have to do is then, if you bring it to the front, you have to put the bolt in the front hole. If you go to the rear, you have to put it in the rear hole. So in this case, we're going to put it towards the rear. Now, you have to get a light and look down in that hole, and you'll see the other hole that's on this bracket. It's kind of hard to do here, but the other thing you can do is just put that bolt in there and just push just a little bit on the bolt and slide this, and you'll feel it catch. Okay, I don't know if you could see that, but just push a little bit, and right there it catches. Okay, so you know you're in the right spot. Then just tighten this bolt up. Okay, and now your brake pedal's back to solid, and you're in the adjustment that's all the way back. It's the exact same side for the shifter side. The only difference is once you move the shifter pedal, you need to adjust the shifter rod because this is going to change where this angle is here. So that is how you adjust your brake and shift pedal on a Victory cross bike. Okay, so this is your shift rod down here. And the way you adjust this, it's real easy. You have two nuts. You have something called a jam nut. There's a jam nut here, and you have a jam nut here. You have to loosen both of those. Now on this one, it's an 11mm nut. Also remember, one end of this is going to be left-hand thread. And what that means is, when you guys have all heard the lefty, righty-tighty, lefty-loosey. Okay, so normally you would turn the nut clockwise. Okay, on a left-hand thread, you got to go the other way. So if you're trying to loosen that nut and you can't get it to come loose, it's because you're on the right, or you're on the left-hand thread. You have to turn it the other way. Okay, now if you're used to this kind of stuff, the one way you can tell is if you look at the little bit of thread right here and the little bit of thread right here. Okay, and this is something you just have to know by looking at it. This thread is going the wrong way. It's on a different angle, and I don't know if you can kind of see that there. That thread is angled kind of on an angle like this. Okay, if you look at this thread, it's on an angle like this. Okay, it's really hard to tell, and like I say, you have to know what you're looking for there. But that's the way you can tell. When you just look at the thread, you're like, something don't look right. It's probably the left-hand side. Okay, so you're just going to want to loosen up these nuts. And sometimes these are kind of hard to get to, okay, because of the angle. Like down in here, this is hard. So if you can't quite get to it like this, try coming from underneath. You know, you got to go maybe a little crooked, and see, when I go down, it wants to tighten up. So that's the wrong way. You got to go up. It's the opposite. And spin that back. Okay, now your shift rod's loose here. Now you can adjust it, and you just turn it like that. And if you watch, you'll see this. You'll see the pedal here. The pedal will start to move up and down when I turn at it. You can see the pedal going up. You turn it the other way, and the pedal goes down. Okay, you can do that even if you're not adjusting the floorboards and your boot is too big or your shoe's too small and you want a different distance here. You can just adjust this. Okay, that's how you adjust a shift rod. Once you get it where you want it, you just take the jam nuts and you tighten them back up. And you don't get them real you know, you don't get them super tight, you just tighten them back up, and that's all there is to it. One thing you have to pay attention to, and you can see it on this bike, the shift rod here is bent. It's real common for the cross bikes to bend the shift rods. Nothing's out of adjustment, you're not doing anything wrong. They just bend, they're weak, okay? So I don't know if you can see that, but this is bent. If it's bent, I suggest you take it off and you try to straighten that out. You know, you can put it on a bench and pound it down straight, put it in a vise, straighten it out, whatever, or get an aftermarket shift rod. We sell a bunch on the website, a lot of the vendors do, and they're much stronger. What'll happen is if this bends, it changes your angles a little bit, and you may notice some hard shifting. You may say all of a sudden, hey, my bike just doesn't shift like it used to. You got to check this and make sure this rod isn't bent, because I've seen some of them bend almost like a V, like this comes way up. They're bent really bad. Okay, and again, it's nothing you're doing wrong, it's just a poor design. This rod is too small for the forces that's on it, and it bends. So that's how you adjust a shift rod. Thanks for watching.